Welcome to Channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your professional migration consultant today in the YouTube and Facebook to share with you all the Australian visa insights. Now in this video I would like to take the continual of the 491 regional skill visas to the next series. Let's move into the Queensland, state of Queensland. So state of Queensland does provide a lot of different opportunities here, and they are generally 3 streams. So I will go one at a time and explain it in detail for you. So Queensland is a very interesting place where they have recently they only cut off Brisbane, where Brisbane CBD will not be counted as a regional, but rest of the Queensland, including Gold Coast, are categorized as regional, designated regional area of Australia, which is very interesting. As you know, Gold Coast is fairly urban place, and if it's categorized as regional, meaning that there is a lot of opportunity that can be grasped into Queensland as for migration point of view. So let's first of all we go into the BSMQ website. Now I've cut the website, the left hand side a bit off because those information is not really required, but I'll go through with the contents in the middle. So that's right underneath me. You can see down here. Now we're not gonna talk about 190 at this point in time, but 491, as 491 will become and is already the most the placements given for migration purpose of Australian nowadays and into the future. So first of all, they are this as what we are looking at is I'm currently employed. So this stream is for people who are already employed in Queensland. So if you're already employed with the visa, stay in Queensland, this is for you. So generally, who are these people? They may be people holding the graduate temporary visa, which is 485 visa, or you may be holding 482 TSS visa or for the 0457 visa, or perhaps you're holding a work and holiday or working holiday 417 or 461 visas. So there's a lot of different one, and the other one will be the graduate international engineering visa, which is 476. But anyway, as long as you have a visa and you are currently in Queensland working there, you're right here. So what you're required to do, obviously we can see here with the 491 category down here, the visa is provisional, so it only provides, it's not a permanent residency visa. It will give you a 5-year visa where you are required to complete at least 3 years with the minimum annual wage of $53,900. Then you will be able to transfer yourself into a permanent residency under subclass 191, which will be available on the 16th of November 2022. Now 3 ways to complete with to accomplish the wage and earning requirement. One is to work for 1 or more employer. You can take 2 part-time jobs. Well, you possibly can take 3 or 4, up to you, or working for your own, okay, and you own your own business and work for yourself. But first of all, you're required to get skill assessed. You need to get that assessment done with a positive result, and that category of occupation does limit you with the Queensland's occupation list, which we will go into in detail later. Okay, so basically down here gives you all the postcodes in Queensland. So basically cut out the Brisbane CBD, and rest of the area will be counted as designated regional area. So here we go. It says if you have received a nomination, apply, and current holder of 491 or 489, you will not be eligible. Well, pretty obvious. If you already hold the visa, why would you apply again? But anyway, now eligibility. Now criteria, you're required to pass the immigration's criteria. Now, HA does stand for Home Affairs Office. So the Home Affairs Office require the point result 65 points higher. That includes the state nomination points. So that means personally, you as an applicant, you need to hold at least 50 points, because the state of Queensland will provide you, if they invited you, they'll provide you an additional 15 points to get you up to that 65 point mark. Now again, you need to get a positive skill assessment. As I had mentioned before, you need to be under 45 years of age and minimum language of competent level, which is equivalent to IELTS 6 across 4 bands. Obviously you can take all the other tests like IELTS, PTE, PTE, and also the TOEFL, and also CAE. So how do I say that? KAE. Okay. Anyway, CAE, that's a Cambridge test, and then you'll be meeting that requirement. Now the BSMQ, the Queensland State of the requirement will be. Let me just pull these. Hold on a second. Does this show better? Not okay. That's right in the middle now. Okay, right. Okay, now let's go into the detail. Okay, here you need to be on the QSO. Okay, the working in Queensland list, which we will go into later on, and you will need to have a full-time. Now for 491. Okay, for 491 here, you'll require to have at least 3 months of work experiences in Queensland. Okay, rather so this up here is for 190. Now we're not gonna concern anything about 190. Now for 491, 3 months. And again, you need to show evidence that you will be employed for further 12 months for 491 purpose, and you're committed to live there for at least 2 years. Oh, I mean, no, 3 years. 2 years for 190, 3 years for 491. Okay, now if your employer is a labor hiring type of employer, you need to show that they have that labor hiring license in Queensland. So that's a different one. So if you do have that, it's very specific. A lot of different other requirements will be needed. So all existing labor hiring company operating in Queensland until 15th of June 2018 to comply with the new registration. So you cannot just have an employer claim that they are a labor hiring employment and put you somewhere else as a contractor or contracting companies. That will fail the whole application. Okay, so the procedure is quite easy. Now Queensland does not require you to pay and lodge the application straight away. Now first of all, obviously you need to complete an EOI on the skills select system. So step 1 here, and obviously need to select Queensland, otherwise Queensland will not know who to pick. So if you select any, they will not pick you. You need to select Queensland. So the state of Queensland will pick you if the points satisfy their requirement. Okay, so once they pick you, you'll be invited to go to Queensland's portal to pay and attach all the documentation required, and then once you get all done, you got 14 days to do so. Once you get that all done, you receive a formal approval and the invitation from Department of Immigration or Home Affairs directly for applying for the 491 visa straight away. Now second stream is actually you're overseas. Okay, you're not in Queensland, you are not in Australia. Now if we're looking at here, it's basically the same. The only differences here is the occupation list. Okay, it's the occupation list, and the requirement. So labor hiring employment is the same. Okay, and the requirement for BSMQ, I believe, will be a bit different. Okay, let's just go into the work requirement. So here, okay, you need to provide at least minimum of 2 years of post qualification work experiences in your nominated occupation, so you need to demonstrate you have 2 years, obviously, and then you, if you hold a PhD and with a work experience waiver, if you have a minimum 12-month job offer, then that's fine. So that's for PhD. Otherwise, if you're working overseas or staying overseas and wanting to apply for Queensland's 491, you need to show that you're in your occupation. After you graduated, you have at least 2 years of work experiences. So it's the same thing for TSS 482 visa. Now, the key thing here that I need to take you into is the actual the skill occupation list here. Okay, so if we're looking into the skill occupation, we are checking out the onshore and the offshore one. So let's have a look. So this, what I'm doing now is the onshore, which is you are currently working in Queensland. So if we're reading at this first column going down, it will be 491. So basically all the farming and agriculture occupation is in there. And then if we go down the finance, corporate services, public relation manager, engineering manager, production manager, sport admin, nursing clinical welfare center manager, laboratory manager, QA manager, restaurant manager, hotel manager. Anyway, it goes all the way down. So if you do want to get into the detail of this checklist, help yourself, go to Google and just type in BSMQ skill occupation list. You'll see it straight away. So continue on. You got copywriter, newspaper, editor, journalist. So it's all in there. It's all ticked in there. Okay. Now, bear in mind when you're reading this, you gotta pay attention to the right column here. Some occupation does require additional work experiences. For example, copywriter, you need to have a post-qualification work experience of 5 years. Now that's hard. Now I don't think any graduate could actually reach those kind of level. And let's move to mathematics. So you mathematicians, that's all in there. Policy analysis, economists, marketing specialist requires 70 points. So that means if we deduct 15 points out, your minimum is at least 55 points minimum. Okay, airplane pilot, surveyor, architects, all the engineerings are all in there. Environmental engineer, agricultural consultant, chemists, geologist, biochemist, botanist. So let's go down, life scientists, physicists, and all the teachers. Now you only thing requires you need to get the Queensland College of Teachers registration, which is not hard. As long as you graduated for bachelor education, you'll be able to get that. Now university lecturer, you need to have at least 70 points and a PhD. Now that's a bit hard there. Anyway, let's go down to the medical part. Most of them are all in there. Dentists in there, podiatrists, and cardiologists, neurologists, and let's go see nursings. Now nursings are all in there, so no experience is required. So this is good. So as long as you've been working 3 months in Queensland, you'll be able to get that. So that's the skill occupation list for the Queensland working in Queensland's one. So now IT one is a bit hard. Okay, once we get to the IT one, I think all the minimum 70 points and 3 years of work experiences. So if we roll down more, now bakers, pastry workers, they need at least 1 year work experiences and 3 months in regional. So again, this all comes down to if you do want to do study abroad in Australia, key here is to pick a regional destination to study with. So once you graduated, you got the opportunity to have 3 years of 485 post study work visa, so you can achieve this. That's pretty easy. Okay. Now hairdressers in there too. So almost anything's in there. Now let's looking at the offshore list. Now offshore list is a bit shorter. As you can see, there's not many. Most of them are highly managerial role. These managerial roles are very, very high, and the required engineer is a bit different. It's more aeronautical engineer quantities. It's not the general engineer that a lot of people generally takes. The teachers also in there need to have at least 3 years of work experiences there. Now There's no accountant, bear in mind, there's no accountant, and a lot of IT position has been removed in Queensland, as you know, from previous news updates. Now, nurses, if you're overseas, you need to have at least 5-year work experience. So if you have studied your nursing in Queensland or regional Queensland, you don't need any work experience. As long as you graduated and you got your registration and NMAC skill assessments and being employed for at least 3 months in regional Australia, you'll be able to get that 491 visa. So it's actually pretty easy, as long as you follow that tempo in designated regional Queensland, everything should be fine. Now, I do want to take you to a further one, which is a very interesting part where it's actually a small business owner. Now, Queensland introduced this called 491 SBO stream, so small business owner stream. There's no more occupation list in here. Generally, and every single occupation can count it, as long as you pass the skill assessing authority with a positive result. Then you have a working visa. Now I'm rolling down here. I'm talking about all here. You have a full-time working visa, staying in Australia, and you can't be in study mode. Okay, you can't hold a student visa and trying to do this. You will be on the PSW working visa, and then you spend $100,000 purchase an existing business in regional Queensland. That includes Gold Coast, okay, and then operate for at least 3 months. You'll be able to get this 491 SBO stream, and then 3 years later you transfer yourself into a permanent residency as well. Now, it does provide a bit more detail down here, which require 1 employee, but only with a minimum 20 hours. That's a part-time, and it has to be Australian citizen or permanent resident, and it's very, very easy. So if you are a international student in Queensland and newly graduate, and you are entrepreneurial mind, you wanted to start a business. Now, bear in mind, you cannot start your own business with this one. You have to buy an existing one. So if you do have the entrepreneurial mind and purchasing a business in regional Queensland, you'll be able to meet this requirement, and 3 years later running a business, you'll be able to get your permanent residency as well. Anyway, that's for the video today. Now, there's a lot to cover, but I'm generally here with the video to actually give you a introductory with the information there. If you do want to have more detail or have question, help yourself to leave a comment right below. And finally, do consider to subscribe to our channel, and if you do have further information that you need, help yourself, email me and contact me. I see you in the next video. Goodbye.